Welcome everyone to Things Around 8. Dear friends, in this video we will talk about the peace proposal presented by Vladimir Putin to put an end to the invasion of Ukraine. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news. On Friday, June 14th, Vladimir Putin set the terms for a ceasefire in Ukraine, demanding, among other things, that Ukrainian troops withdraw from the regions that Russia claims to have annexed. This proposal was quickly rejected by Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, who compared it to a World War II-style ultimatum. In his statement, Putin said that in order for a ceasefire to be implemented, Ukraine would have to withdraw its troops from 4 regions: Donetsk, Lugansk, Kherson and Zaporizhia. In addition, he stated that Ukraine would need to give up its aspirations to join NATO and the European Union. In a speech to Russian ambassadors in Moscow, Putin stressed that as soon as Kiev showed its willingness to accept these conditions, a ceasefire and negotiations would begin immediately. Ukraine's response was firm and negative. Mikhail Podoliak, an aide to the Ukrainian president, called the proposal a complete farce and an insult to common sense. Zelensky, in an interview with Italian television Sky TG24, compared Putin's demands to those of Germany in Czechoslovakia in 1938, a reference to when the German dictator asked for part of Czechoslovakia with the promise that war would not break out. The international community also reacted critically. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd said that Putin was not in a position to dictate terms to Ukraine, since Russia had illegally occupied Ukrainian sovereign territories. Stoltenberg, NATO Secretary General, dismissed Putin's proposals as not made in good faith. Analysts such as Tatiana Stanovaia see Putin's demands as maximalist and uncompromising, suggesting that they were made to devalue the peace conference that is about to begin. The conference will bring together leaders from 90 countries in Switzerland to discuss paths to peace in Ukraine, with Russia notably absent. Zelensky will attend the event, seeking to shore up international support for Ukraine. The summit in Switzerland, to be held near Lake Lucerne, aims to provide a forum for world leaders to discuss a path to a just and lasting peace in Ukraine, based on international law and the founding charter of the United Nations. Attendees will include Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States, Emmanuel Macron, President of France, Olaf Scholz, Chancellor of Germany, Giorgia Meloni, Prime Minister of Italy and Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission. Switzerland, the host of the event, has made it clear that Russia was not invited, and China, for its part, has decided not to attend in Russia's absence, with Brazilian President Lula da Silva claiming that since Putin will not be present, he will not participate either. Recently, G7 leaders agreed to use interest from frozen Russian assets to help Ukraine. Approximately $300 billion in Russian assets have been frozen since the invasion in February 2022, generating about $3 billion in annual interest. This amount will be used to pay the annual interest on a $50 billion loan to Ukraine, which is expected to be made available by the end of the year. In addition, during the G7 summit, the United States and Ukraine signed a 10-year bilateral security agreement, which is considered historic by both Kiev and Washington. Putin's demands for a ceasefire in Ukraine have been met with skepticism and rejection by both Ukraine and the international community. The Peace Summit in Switzerland represents an attempt to consolidate global support for a peaceful and lasting solution to the conflict. Even with the absence of Russia and its closest allies, such as China, the situation remains tense, with negotiations and firm statements from both sides, while the world watches in search of a path to peace. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any news.